So today we're going to continue the story, The Tailor of Gloucester by Beatrix Potter. This is part 4, and we're going to continue where we left off, where we met the tailor's pet cat, and then we met some of the mice that live in the house. Now that sounds kind of scary that there are mice living in the house, but these are cute and very polite mice. One mouse gave a bow to the tailor. And so we'll get to see if they help each other or if they work together. And so before we get into the story, one of your classmates, another student, shared something with me which is very helpful. Chen Pei shared a couple images, and I'll share them with you. Ooh. So I'll just move over here. Make sure we can see everything. So in the story, we've learned some difficult words. And some of these words I don't really know very well either. So some of them are words for fabric. This one on top is called chenille. Or I'm not sure how to say this. Chenille or channel, I'm not sure. I think when I looked it up, it said chenille, but I could be wrong. So it's a kind of fabric with little lines on it. Another one that was in the story was taffeta, or maybe it's taffeta. I'm not sure. Taffeta, taffeta. I think both are okay. It looks kind of like silk. It's a smooth, a little bit shiny fabric. And then this one is called gauze. This is a word that is a little more common. I hear this pretty often. So gauze is something that's like a little bit fluffy. It's a really, really light, thin fabric, and it's fluffy. It's called gauze. Gauze. Okay? And then a few other things. You might know the word a wig. A wig means fake hair. But in the story, we heard the word periwig. So a periwig is a big, fancy kind of wig, like what this man is wearing. So a few hundred years ago, men would wear periwigs, and they looked very fancy. Do you think I should wear a periwig? Would I look good? I don't know. And then we also saw the word lappets. A lappet is this piece of fabric that goes around this woman's head. This is very uncommon. People don't usually say this word. If something is embroidered is like this little black jacket has lots of pictures on it. And the pictures are sewn with thread. So there's a bird and some flowers, and they're embroidered on the jacket. Now, if we turn this into a noun, it's called embroidery. Embroidery. Embroidery is when someone sews a design into a fabric. That's called embroidery. So, they're kind of common words. You might get a baseball hat with a logo embroidered on the hat. Or you might get a shirt with a logo embroidered in the corner on the chest. Okay? Another word is the word ruffles. This is kind of common. A ruffle is when something is kind of bumpy, like this guy's shirt. People don't usually wear shirts like this, but you might have a dress with ruffles, like the fabric has bumps. Or yeah, this word is more common. So out of all of these words, the ones you should remember, well, maybe you can remember gauze. You hear it once in a while. You should know what a wig is. You don't need to remember periwig, but wig is good. Embroidered is a good word to know. It's a little bit of a tricky word, but it's a good word to know. It's kind of common if you're shopping for clothes. And then ruffle is a word you hear sometimes. Okay? The other ones that I didn't underline, forget it. Who cares? And then one other thing is in the story we talked about waistcoats. I kept on getting messed up. I was making mistakes. I'm sorry. In the United States, we will just call this a vest. Like if you have a suit, the inside part, we call it a vest, but it's really called a waistcoat. So I might have made a mistake. I apologize. But on a suit or a waistcoat, there's a pocket, right? And in the story, we talked about pocket flaps. A pocket flap is this piece of fabric that will cover the pocket. So you don't just have an open pocket, you have a pocket and a pocket flap covering it. This is common on suits and jackets and things like that. Okay? So thank you to Chiempe for sharing this. Really useful, really helpful. So I appreciate it, and I think everybody appreciates it. Okay, so let's get back to our story. The Tailor of Gloucester. Now, the beginning parts we can just go past, but then the part we read last time, we can read one more time before we start the new stuff. Okay? Let me just make sure everything's lined up correctly. Okay. And then we can go down to, I think it was, how about we start here? How about we start here? The tailor got home. He's very tired. He's not very happy because he's thinking about making this coat. And he sent his cat, well, I'll go up a little bit. His cat, Simpkin, he gave the cat some money and told the cat, go shopping, buy some milk and bread and sausages and bring them home. And please buy some twist. And twist is a kind of thread for sewing. And he needs that to finish the coat that he's making for the mayor of Gloucester. Okay. And the cat goes out shopping, which is pretty funny to me. And the tailor is feeling pretty tired. And then we'll start here. Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap tip. Now what can that be? Said the Tailor of Gloucester, jumping up from his chair. The dresser was covered with crockery and pipkins, willow pattern plates, and teacups and mugs. The tailor crossed the kitchen and stood quite still beside the dresser, listening and peering through his spectacles. Again, from under a teacup came those funny little noises. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap-tip. This is very peculiar, said the Tailor of Gloucester. And he lifted up the teacup, which was upside down. Out stepped a little live lady mouse and made a curtsy to the tailor. Then she hopped away down off the dresser and under the wainscot. The tailor sat down again by the fire, warming his poor cold hands, and mumbling to himself, "Oh, the waistcoat is cut out from peach-colored satin, tambour stitch and rosebuds, and beautiful floss silk. Was I wise to entrust my last fourpence to Simpkin? 1 in 20 buttonholes of cherry-colored twist." But all at once, from the dresser, there came other little noises. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap-tip. "This is passing extraordinary," said the Tailor of Gloucester, and turned over another teacup, which was upside down. Pause for 1 minute. Chembe has a question. "By the way, I think you'll look good with a periwig. Maybe try it on. Maybe try it at Comic-Con next time." So remember to use "at" because Comic-Con is a place. Okay, "I think you'll look good with a periwig. Maybe try it at Comic-Con next time." Ooh, that's a good idea. So I can wear a fancy waistcoat and a nice jacket, and I'll wear a periwig, and maybe I'll carry a sword like the people at the beginning of the story. These fancy people with their fancy clothes and swords. Good idea. Okay, where were we? So the tailor says, "Oh, this is very peculiar, very strange, very interesting." He lifted a teacup, which was upside down. Oops, we already did that. "This is extraordinary." He lifted another teacup. Out stepped a little gentleman mouse and made a bow to the tailor. And then, from all over the dresser, came a chorus of little tappings, all sounding together and answering one another, like watch beetles in an old worm-eaten window shutter. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap-tip. And out from under teacups and from under bowls and basins stepped other and more little mice, who hopped away down off the dresser and under the wainscot. So many, many, many mice came out from under bowls and cups and everywhere and disappeared. Okay. From here, we're going to start some new parts of the story. Now, if it were me, I would be freaking out. Oh my God, there's so many mice. But the old man, he's tired. He doesn't care. The tailor sat down close over the fire, lamenting. 1 in 20 buttonholes of cherry-colored silk, to be finished by noon of Saturday, and this is Tuesday evening. Was it right to let loose those mice? Undoubtedly the property of Simpkin? Alack, I am undone, for I have no more twist. Okay. So the tailor sat down close over the fire, lamenting. Lamenting is a good word to know. This is kind of like complaining, or kind of like regretting. So he's talking about what's wrong, what's a problem. Oh no, too bad. That's lamenting. It's a little bit of a formal word, but it's something you'll see in stories pretty often. So he starts lamenting. 1 in 20 buttonholes of cherry-colored silk. So again, he's talking about the jacket, or was it a coat? I forget. And he's talking about he needs cherry-colored silk for the buttonholes of this coat. Okay? So 1 and 20. What does that mean? Well, you can guess. It's an old way to say 21. 1 in 20, 21. So he needs lots of buttonholes worth of silk. To be finished by noon of Saturday. And this is Tuesday evening. So he has Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He has 4 full days to finish it, or less than 4 days to finish it, which is not a lot of time for something very nice. Was it right to let loose those mice? Here, let loose means set free. Let's see, maybe I'll put it here. So he let those mice go free. He set them free. And he's wondering, was that a mistake? Was it right to let loose those mice? Like, was it okay to let them go? Undoubtedly, the property of Simpkin. You probably know the word doubt. To doubt, well, you might know the word doubt. I shouldn't assume. Doubt means you don't really believe something. So you don't really believe something if you doubt. Undoubt means you don't believe something. Well, that means it's definitely true. So there's no doubt. So that means undoubtedly means definitely. Hopefully that the logic helps and it's not confusing. So undoubtedly means there's no doubt. So definitely. This word's not super common, but it's good to know and you can figure it out. Doubt in the middle. What does doubt mean? Undoubt. That means no doubt. Okay, that means for sure, definitely. So those mice, undoubtedly the property of Simpkin. So he's thinking, oh, those mice ran away, but they belonged to my cat, Simpkin. So maybe he made a mistake. Then he says, alack, I am undone. No one says alack. Super old. You will see in stories, alas. So no one says alack. Sometimes you'll see alas in a story, which is kind of like too bad. Like, oh no, too bad. So too bad, so sad. Oh, alas. It's kind of like too bad. It's kind of like anyways at the same time. I am undone. I think that's probably closer. It's a little bit like anyways, but kind of in a sad way. Alas, like nothing matters. It's not important. Anyways, I am undone. Undone means I'm in big trouble, for I have no more twist. So he has no more of this thread that he needs to finish the coat. Okay. Keep going. The little mice came out again and listened to the tailor. They took notice of the pattern of that wonderful coat. They whispered to one another about the taffeta lining and about little mouse tippets. We learned what a tippet is before, but I kind of forget. Okay. Tippet for women's clothing. Oh, this thing. Kind of like this cloth on her... Oh, here's a quick tiffet. The cloth that goes around her neck. That's a tiffet. There we go. Mystery solved. But people don't usually wear those anymore, so that's why we don't know the word anymore. Okay. The little mice came out again and listened to the tailor. They took notice of the pattern. To take notice is the same as notice. Or it's a little bit like remember. Like notice and remember at the same time. You look at it and you notice it and you try to remember it. Okay? So they took notice of the pattern of that wonderful coat. They're studying it. They whispered to one another. To whisper is to talk quietly. So they, oh, look at that. They whispered to one another about the taffeta lining and about little mouse tippets. So they're talking about the cloth and clothes for the coat and themselves. And then, all at once, they all ran away together down the passage behind the wainscot, squeaking and calling to one another as they ran from house to house. And not one mouse was left in the tailor's kitchen when Simpkin came back with a pipkin of milk. Remember, we talked about a pipkin is like a little cup. So, all at once, they all ran away together down the passage behind the wainscot. So they all run away into the walls, squeaking and calling to one another. Psst, psst, psst. They're making mouse noises. And so all of them are gone when Simpkin comes home. Okay? And if you have any questions, let me know. Here comes the cat after going shopping. I think this picture is so cute. Simpkin opened the door and bounced in with an angry meow, like a cat that is vexed, for he hated the snow, and there was snow in his ears and snow in his collar at the back of his neck. He put down the loaf and the sausages upon the dresser and sniffed. So, Simpkin opened the door and bounced in. So, if he bounced in, it's kind of like he jumped in. Boing. So it's just using the word bounce to show that he came in with energy. He was moving fast. And with an angry grr meow. So, grr. GRR is a sound that people make when they're angry. Some people will type this like grr. If you're on Facebook, you might see people write GRR if they're angry. Okay? So grr meow, like a cat that is vexed. This is not a common word. It's kind of an old word, but it means unhappy. So the cat is very unhappy, and that's why he's making angry sounds. 4, he hated the snow. Remember, we can use the word for to mean because, right? So because he hated the snow. And there was snow in his ears and snow in the collar at the back of his neck. So my shirt does not have a collar, but a collar is the part of a shirt or a coat that can fold down. Actually, maybe they just mean it's inside the neck of his shirt. So the snow is in here, inside the collar. So you could say that for this shirt, I would just call it the neck of the shirt. But if there's a fold, you could say it's in the collar. So there's snow there. So there was snow in his collar at the back of his neck. So, woo, cold. He put down the loaf and the sausages upon the dresser and sniffed. So to sniff means to use your nose and go. And people do that when they are cold, right? Okay. Simpkin, said the tailor, where is my twist? Remember, the twist is the thread he needs for the buttonholes. But Simpkin set down the pipkin of milk upon the dresser and looked suspiciously at the teacups. So, if you, well, I'll finish. He wanted his supper of little fat mouse. So Simpkin's not listening. He's looking at the teacups. He's looking suspiciously. If you're looking suspiciously that means you think something's wrong. I know you can't see that. I'll move it. So if you're suspicious, you think something is wrong. Something's strange about my teacups. And Simpkin the cat, he wanted his supper of little fat mouse. So Simpkin put the mice under those cups. And he wants his supper. Supper in America is the same as dinner. A long time ago, supper was after dinner. But now we use the two words the same. Dinner and supper. So Simpkin is looking for the mice. He wants a snack. Simpkin, said the tailor, where is my twist? So he doesn't care about the mice. The tailor just wants the thread. Okay. But Simpkin hid a little parcel privately in the teapot and spit and growled at the tailor. And if Simpkin had been able to talk, he would have asked, where is my mouse? Okay. So what did Simpkin do? So Simpkin was looking for his mouse, and the mouse is gone. The tailor says, where is my twist? What did Simpkin do? Simpkin hid a little parcel privately in the teapot. A parcel is like a small package. Okay? So what does this tell us? Maybe Simpkin really did get the twist. He bought it for the tailor. But what he did is he hid this little package in a teapot because he's angry. So Simpkin hid the parcel and spit and growled at the tailor. To spit is pui, to spit saliva. And growled is make that angry sound. And if Simpkin had been able to talk, he would have asked, where is my mouse? So Simpkin cannot talk, but if he could, he would say that. So Simpkin's angry, his mouse is gone, so he's hiding the thread. Alack, I am done. Like, oh no, I'm done. So, like I said before, it's like, alas. Like, too bad or oh no. Okay? Alack, I am undone, said the Tailor of Gloucester, and went sadly to bed. All that night long, Simpkin hunted and searched through the kitchen, peeping into cupboards and under the wainscot, and into the teapot where he had hidden that twist. But still, he never found a mouse. Oh, sorry, I said it in regular English. But still, he found never a mouse, which is not normal English. That's old style. Okay. So Simpkin was looking for a mouse and couldn't find one. He just wants a snack. Remember, peeping means looking. Okay? Peeping is like a sneaky look, a careful look. Okay. Oh, this word. It looks like cupboards, but we just say cupboards. Pretend there's no P. Cupboards. And that's where you put dishes and plates and cups. Okay. So Simpkin is searching. The tailor is in bed. Whenever the tailor muttered and talked in his sleep, Simpkin said, meow, gersh. and made strange, horrid noises, as cats do at night. So when the tailor is sleeping, he mutters. To mutter is quiet talking. This is kind of like murmur. You might know the word murmur. And then Simpkin made a sound, strange cat sound. Meow, grush. Strange, horrid noises. Horrid is a word that people in England say, but in America we would say horrible. Horrible or terrible. Okay? Kind of the same thing. For the poor old tailor was very ill with fever, or with a fever, tossing and turning in his four-post bed. And still in his dreams he mumbled, "No more twist, no more twist." Okay. Oh, here's another one. Murmur, muttered, mumbled. All of these are kind of the same. Talking quietly to yourself. That's an easy one to remember. If it's M-U, 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 maybe it's about going talking to yourself. So he's mumbling, "No more twist, no more twist." He's so sad that he doesn't have this thread. All that day he was ill, and the next day, and the next. So he's sick for many days. And what should become of the cherry-colored coat? He only has 4 days to make it, and he's sick for 2 more days. Uh-oh. In the tailor's shop in Westgate Street, the embroidered silk and satin lay cut out upon the table, 1 in 20 buttonholes, and who should come to sew them when the window was barred and the door was fast locked? So, all that day, so the tailor is sick. He's ill. Let's see. Ill means sick. So he's not feeling well all that day, and the next day, and the next. So for like 3 days, he's really sick. And what should become of the cherry-colored coat? So what should become of something? Another way you could say this is what happened to blah, blah, blah. Or like what will happen to is more like it, right? So what will happen to that coat? What should become of is a little bit of an old style, but you could say what will happen to. What will happen to the cherry-colored coat? So in the tailor's shop in Westgate Street, the embroidered silk and satin, so all of this beautiful fabric he has, lay cut out upon the table. That's from the beginning of the story. He was cutting the fabric and putting pieces on the table, getting ready to sew them together. So, who should come to sew them when the window was barred and the door was fast locked? Fast locked means locked tight. So no one can go into the shop, so no one can help him make the coat. So who's going to do it? Well, you might have a guess. But that does not hinder the little brown mice. They run in and out without any keys through all the old houses in Gloucester. Okay. So that does not, so it was talking about the door, the window was barred and the door was locked. So that does not hinder the little brown mice. Hinder means slow down. Oh, my keyboard's breaking. It could mean, it's a little bit like stop, but it's closer to slow down. If you switch it to stop, it makes it an easier sentence. That does not stop the little brown mice. So it does not slow them down. It's no problem for them. They can go in and out without any keys. Okay? Let's see. I think if you don't mind, I think we can stop here for today. I kind of have a busy day tomorrow, so I want to go get ready for bed. So let's stop here for today. We can read through what we read one more time, and then if you're still enjoying it, maybe we can do more of this another time. Okay? So I'll read through. We went 4 parts, so that's pretty good. Not super hard this time, which is good, I think, but definitely some words we can practice. Okay. And I think this story is getting easier as we go, so that's good. So I'll read the part we read together one more time. The tailor sat down close over the fire, lamenting. 21 buttonholes of cherry-colored silk, to be finished by noon of Saturday, and this is Tuesday evening. Was it right to let loose those mice? Undoubtedly the property of Simpkin? Alack, I am undone, for I have no more twist. The little mice came out again and listened to the tailor, and they took notice of the pattern of that wonderful coat. They whispered to one another about the taffeta lining and about little mouse tippets. And then, all at once, they ran away together down the passage behind the wainscot, squeaking and calling to one another as they ran from house to house. And not one mouse was left in the tailor's kitchen when Simpkin came back with the pipkin of milk. Simpkin opened the door and bounced in with an angry meow, like a cat that is vexed, for he hated the snow, and there was snow in his ears, and snow in his collar at the back of his neck. He put down the loaf and the sausages upon the dresser and sniffed. Simpkin, said the tailor, where is my twist? But Simpkin set down the pipkin of milk upon the dresser and looked suspiciously at the teacups. He wanted his supper of little fat mouse. Simpkin, said the tailor, where is my twist? But Simpkin hid a little parcel privately in the teapot and spit and growled at the tailor. And if Simpkin had been able to talk, he would have asked, where is my mouse? Alack, I am undone, said the Tailor of Gloucester, and went sadly to bed. All that night long, Simpkin hunted and searched through the kitchen, peeping into cupboards and under the wainscot, and into the teapot where he had hidden that twist. But still, he found never a mouse. Whenever the tailor muttered and talked in his sleep, Simpkin said, meow, gersh, and made strange, horrid noises, as cats do at night. For the poor old tailor was very ill with a fever, tossing and turning in his 4-post bed, and still in his dreams he mumbled, no more twist, no more twist. All that day he was ill, and the next day, and the next. And what should become of the cherry-colored coat? In the tailor's shop in Westgate Street, the embroidered silk and satin lay cut out upon the table. 21 buttonholes, and who should come to sew them when the window was barred and the door was fast locked. But that does not hinder the little brown mice. They run in and out without any keys through all the old houses in Gloucester. So, the mice might help that poor old man. He's feeling sick, but the mice know that he's been nice to them. He's given them fabric to make some nice mouse clothes. So maybe they've learned to do something too. They can help him finish the coat. Pretty good, right? Okay, so I think we can stop here for today. Thank you for joining. I hope you're enjoying this. It's still a little tricky, but a little bit smoother and a little bit easier than the beginning of the story, right? So I hope you're having a good time. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a message, okay? So let's stop here and I'll see you next time. So happy weekend and bye-bye.